Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is confirmed. Now, why do I present it to you that way, guys? Because I've been on the road to New York, and if you followed or not, I've made 3 or 4 pieces already going back and forth on this. And I had good confirmation. Errol Hawani had confirmed it, but I couldn't get Jake Paul to confirm it, and I couldn't get Nikista to confirm it, but I started hearing from some other medias that it was on. They say, well, that's not quite good enough for me. Generally, as a matter of fact, general to the point that I couldn't show you an example around it, but generally, when a fight gets announced, and fighters aren't denying it, and fight camps aren't denying it, and managers and trainers aren't denying it, at a minimum, they like the fight. Even if it wasn't supposed to be announced, and even if it wasn't even a fight that was in talks. Once it gets announced and they like the fight, they go quiet, and then sometimes they make these things happen. I did feel that phenomenon with Jake and Joshua. I felt like, hey, something's going on here. Whatever that is, still to be determined, but something's happening. They had Florida right. I called over to the Florida State Athletic Commission. They could not confirm, but they could confirm that dates were being reserved. This is just very general speak. So I went as far as to tell you guys, hey, the fight's not on. Now, I personally think that they would like it to be on. I think it's going to happen, and I see it coming back. But for right now, if we're going by the letter of the contract, of which has not been signed, that fight's not on. So Dana spoke about this, and possibly as clearly as a person can speak. And Dana said it's a bad idea because very calmly, I'm acting it out like Dana. He said it's a very bad idea because it's everything that everybody's ever wanted they're going to be given. Dana said, be careful with what you ask for. And what Dana's talking about is they want to see Josh Paul fight a seasoned, in his prime, of his size, real boxer. And that's what Joshua is. So Dana's talking about you're going to get what you asked for. Well, what you asked for is a real fight. What you asked for is for somebody with the power and the danger to beat your ass. What you, the audience, have asked for Jake Paul is that you want to see somebody end this experiment. Do it brutally, do it quickly, do it decisively. And that's what you've got. I think the courage that it takes for Jake Paul to do this, as well as for Joshua. You know, this isn't Joshua's first time doing a spoof fight. He fought Francis. That was a spoof fight. Francis had never won boxing before, but we understood he has fought before. It was one of those things where when you got through it, like coming into the front side, I'm sure Anthony Joshua trained plenty hard for it. But coming out the back, he probably realized I didn't need to train for that at all. That was fun. That was a good time. I got to hear him call my names. I got to go out there. I got to be light on my feet. I got to lay on these combinations and then cut an interview and pump my hands over my shoulders like I accomplished something. What dreams are made of. And so Joshua did one of those fights. It was with Francis, and this is a completely different kind of that type of fight. But it's still that fight nonetheless. Jake Paul has abilities to win this fight. A lot of them involved moral victories. A lot of them involved getting out of the first round. And a lot of them would involve getting out of the first 2 rounds and haven't been knocked down yet. Want to be getting out of the 3rd round, you've only been on the canvas once, and you got up to your feet, you shook it off, and you're ready to keep going. Like, these things are all victories, but the fight that it's going to happen, I think it's a big deal for Jake Paul. I think it's a big deal for everybody involved. I think it's a big deal that Francis looks at that fight and realizes, oh, these things make sense. These things that make dollars, they make sense. That's his business. This was his opportunity that he missed out on. And now Joshua's going to have a lot of fun. And overall, I see the fight being one-sided. And people keep saying, well, slow down. Wait till you hear what all of the rules under exhibition clause mean. As long as they're throwing punches at one another, full speed, I don't need to know what the rest of those bylaws say to tell you it's likely a one-sided beating.